Good evening, you all, and welcome to the 18th session of the research discussion on graphs and groups. As we all know, we had a very modest beginning way back in March, on March 24th, when Professor Peter Cameron gave an inaugural lecture. Since then, we could invite so many stalwarts and pioneers working in groups and graphs. So today we have Professor Kamal Lochan Patra, who will be formally introduced by Professor Vinayak Joshi after a minute. Before we come to that formal introduction, let me take this opportunity to congratulate 3 out of 4 authors. Ajay Kumar is not a member of this group, but Tamil Selvam, Peter Cameron, and Lavanya Ganesh, Selva Ganesh, for writing out an excellent survey paper on power graphs coming out of finite groups. So this has appeared in AKC, International Journal of Combinatorics and its applications, and it's a very unique document which will be useful for those who wanted to do research. So though this workshop had tremendously influenced or speeded up their project, this was started much before this group discussion started. So it is indeed a happy news for all of us and inspiration for all of us to write out some more papers. So with this, I invite Professor Vinayak Joshi of SP University Pune to formally introduce the speaker, Kamal Lochan Patra. Vinayak, please.
Thank you, sir. It's my pleasure to introduce Professor K.L. Patra. He completed his PhD from IIT Kanpur in 2008, and he is currently working at NISER Bhubaneswar. His research areas are combinatorics and algebraic graph theory. He has many publications to his credit. He guided 4 postdoctoral students and 2 doctoral students. Today he will talk on the vertex connectivity of power graph of some finite groups. I request Professor Patra to begin.
Thank you, Professor Joshi.
Thank you.
It is indeed a pleasure to give a lecture here. I sincerely thank Professor Vijay Kumar Ambat for pushing me to give a lecture here because of my busy schedule, etc. He asked me to give in July, but July first week I was a little busy. So he told me to give in July last week. So thank you, Professor Ambat Kumar also, Vijay Kumar Ambat also. So today we'll discuss on vertex connectivity of power graphs of some finite groups. So first we'll discuss some known results related to connectivity of power graphs, especially finite groups. Then we will discuss or focus on connectivity of power graphs of finite groups, both vertex and edge connectivity. So as I said, that the focus mainly, the latter part, the focus is mainly on vertex connectivity and edge connectivity of power graphs of finite cyclic groups. I also say why cyclic groups are that important or non-trivial to study the all vertex and edge connectivity. So let's start with, first consider a finite simple graph gamma. I say a vertex X of the vertex set gamma is called a cut set of gamma if the induced subgraph of gamma with vertex set V minus X is disconnected. That if you delete that set X, that's the graph is disconnected. The cut set, if it's a complete graph, actually cut set doesn't exist. A cut set X is said to be minimal cut set if X minus X is not a cut set of gamma for any X belongs to X. Set wise it is minimal. We call something is a minimum cut set if cardinality wise it is minimum. So minimum implies minimal. So to study the vertex connectivity of any graph means you are, if it is not complete, you are interested to find a minimum cut set of that graph. So the vertex connectivity of gamma is the minimum number of vertices which needed to be removed from vertex set so that the induced subgraph of gamma on the remaining vertices is disconnected or has only one vertex. The only one vertex, this case will arise when gamma is a complete graph. So we denote the vertex connectivity of a graph by kappa gamma or kappa gamma. So let gamma be a finite simple graph which is not complete. Then obviously if X is a minimum cut set, then kappa gamma equal to cardinality of X. So we'll now define power graph of a graph. So power graph of a group. I think this is discussed earlier also in other talks. So let me just recall some definition and some results on power graph of groups. So the power, let G be a finite group. The power graph of G is the graph with vertex set G in which two distinct vertices are adjacent if one of them can be obtained as an integral power of other. Integral, you can take integral positive power of other. If you want to take positive, that may differ for infinite graph or for infinite group, but for finite group, whether take positive integral power or just integral power, they are same. So this is an undirected power graph. It is first defined by Chakravarti, Ghosh and Sen in this semi-group forum paper. But actually earlier the power graph is defined for directed power graph defined by Kelarev and Quinn in this way. The directed power graph of G is the graph with vertex set G in which two distinct vertices G and H belongs to G are joined by a directed edge from G to H if H is an integral power of G. So this become after that the undirected power graph is defined. Then many people have studied the properties of power graphs and its application, etc. Me along with my colleague and one postdoc, we have also contributed to the study of power graphs. So we will later go to that part. So we'll next discuss some properties of power graphs. So for a group, finite group G, we denote PG as the power graph of G. PG, this is finite, so PG is always connected because the identity element of G is adjacent to every other element. So PG is not just connected, so the diameter of PG is at most 2 also. I'm saying at most 2. PG is complete. PG is a complete graph if and only if G is a cyclic group of prime power order. And this result you can find in that paper by Chakravarti et al. In 2009. Then Professor Cameron has proved some interesting result related to that. Before that, if two groups G and H are isomorphic, it is clear that their power graphs are also isomorphic. What about the converse? But the converse may not be true. The example can be found in this paper where you have a abelian group of order let 27 with index 3 and a non-abelian group of order 27 with index 3. Their power graphs are isomorphic, but groups are non-isomorphic. Also to prove GH if GH are finite abelian group and their power graph are isomorphic, then the groups are also isomorphic. This result can be found in the paper by Cameron and Ghosh in 2011. They've also proved that if GH are finite groups with isomorphic power graphs, then they have same number of elements of each order. So then people have studied many things related to power graphs and groups. So let AG, we denote this subset of G consists of those vertices which are adjacent to all other vertices of PG. It is clear that AG is non-empty, identity element is anyway always there. So what about when AG is greater than equal to 2? So the Cameron in 2010 proved that if AG is greater than 1, then this can be said about the group G. G is either a cyclic group of prime order, in that case AG equals to G, where obviously this power graph of G is complete. if G is a cyclic group of non-prime of power order, then AG consists of the identity element and the generators of G. And if AG greater than, otherwise G is either a generalized quaternion 2 group and AG contains the identity element and the unique involution in G. So what exactly the generalized quaternion 2 group is? The generalized quaternion group through generator can be defined in this way. G is generated by X and Y, where X to the power 2 to the power n minus 1 equal to Y square equal to Z, Z square equal to 1, and Y inverse XY equal to X square. With this relation, this generalized quaternion group can be formed when the order of equal to 2 to the power n plus 1. You can easily relate that A for n equal to 2, it is the quaternion group Q8. In that case, if you consider Q8 as plus minus 1, plus minus I, plus minus J, and plus minus K, AG is actually plus minus 1. Also, I think in some of the talk, people have discussed about the connectivity of power graph of G for different groups. For example, dihedral group, this quaternion group, and also some other group like abelian elementary P group, etc. They've discussed. So this talk will mainly concentrate on the vertex connectivity of power graph of cyclic group. So the question is, why cyclic group? So we'll denote Cn by the cyclic group of order n. Power graph of Cn has maximum number of edges among all power graphs of finite group of order n. You take any group of order n, then power graph of Cn has maximum number of edges. So this was first conjecture in 2012, later proved by Kotin and Porgoli in 2014 in paper by algebraic, in a paper in algebraic combinatorics. So this, then it is quite natural that the kappa of PCN would be large because it maximum number of edges. So now to study of kappa of PCN, the vertex connectivity of PCN, it is clear that if you take n equals to prime power, then this is a complete graph. Then in this case, the connectivity has to be n minus 1. So next onward, n must be product of 2 primes. To study the vertex connectivity of Cn, we have to take n product of at least 2 primes. Or n is, you can say n is divisible by at least 2 distinct primes. So from now onward in this talk, n is divisible by at least 2 distinct prime. Then the prime power decomposition of n will denote like this: n equal to p1 to the power n1, p to the power n2, pr to the power nr, where r greater than equal to 2, n1, n2, nr are positive integers, and p1 are with p1 less than p2 less than pr. So whenever we will discuss any result, now this order we will maintain. P1 is less than P2, less than up to PR. And n is in this form. Will please stop me if you have any question, or ask me if you have any question. So it is clear that all the generators of Cn and along with identity adjacent to all other vertices. So that means to get the minimal or minimum cut set of power, to get a minimum cut set of power graph of Cn, these elements should be removed first. So that means the number of generator is Pn along with identity. So the vertex connectivity must be greater than equal to Pn plus 1. This is obviously from whatever we have discussed earlier. So now the question is it equal, or for which n this is equal? Kappa Pn equals to Pn plus 1 if and only if n is a product of 2 distinct prime. This was proved in 2018 first by Ponda and Krishna, and also by us in simultaneously in another paper where we have mainly studied the vertex connectivity of PCN. So if it is product of two primes, then kappa or vertex connectivity of power of graph of Cn is known, which is Pn plus 1. So what about other cases? So also, if n equal to p1 to the power n1 and p to the power n2, then vertex connectivity is less than equals to this, Pn plus p1 to the power n1 minus 1, p to the power n2 minus 1. And if n equal to p1, p2, p3, where p1 less than p2 less than p3, then vertex connectivity less than equal to phi n plus this. So these two bounds are first given by Chattopadhyay and Panigrahi in their paper this. So till mainly 15, only these things are known. It was not known that what exactly the vertex connectivity of power graph of Cn. So the idea, what we'll discuss mainly now, the problem is that what is the value of exact value of power graph of Cn for any value of n. So vertex connectivity of power graph of Cn for any value of n. For that, before going to the result, what we have proved, let me discuss the idea behind it. Okay? Is there any question?
Yeah, sorry, I'm sorry, a small thing. So,
Yes.
power graph of Cn. So, do you know the minimum degree of that? Is it well known, or it may be?
No, that probably at the end we will discuss about the minimal degree.
Yeah,
We will discuss all these things. Mainly this talk is mainly about vertex connectivity. Actually, in this case, edge connectivity and minimal degree are same.
Okay, fine. Okay.
But we will discuss it in last 2-3 slides.
Okay. Thank you.
So vertex to get what exactly the value of vertex connectivity at PCN, let for any x belongs to it, we denote OX the order of x. Actually, if let x and y be two distinct elements of Cn. The structure of Cn says for any divisor of n, there is a unique subgroup of order. If D is a divisor of n, there is a unique subgroup of Cn of order D. Using that idea, this can be proved that if x and y are two distinct elements of Cn, then x and y are adjacent in PCN if and only if either order of x divides order of y or order of sorry, there's a typo here. Order of y divides order of x. There's a typo here. So this is order of x divides order of y, or order of y divides order of x. This will follow from the definition and the result that for every divisor D of n, there is a unique subgroup of order D in Cn. So with this, we'll now try to see what exactly the minimum cut set of PCN contain. So for a positive divisor D of n, we define two sets. Ed is x belongs to n, so the order of x equal to D. So the set of all elements of Cn whose order is D. We denote that set by Ed, and Sd is the set of all elements of n whose order divides D. It is clear that Sd is a subgroup of order D, and Ed is a generator of Sd, the generating set of the set of all generator of Sd. So Sd is a cyclic subgroup of Cn of order D, and Ed is precisely the set of generator of Sd. So cardinality of Sd equal to D and cardinality of Ed equal to phi D. Here phi is the Euler function, Euler-Tottian function. So also you can see that any minimum cut set must contain E1 and En. En is basically the set of all generators of Cn, and E1 is the identity one. So any minimum cut set must contains En and E1. So for a given non-empty proper subset X of Cn, we define X bar as Cn minus x, and we denote Px bar as the induced subgraph of PCN with vertex set x bar. If x is a minimal cut set of PCN, then ED is either contained in X fully or ED intersection X equal to phi. That means if X you take, look to get the minimum or vertex connectivity of CN, the idea is to study the minimum cut set of PCN. And for every minimum cut set, we will now look for this set ED. So if X is a minimum cut set, what we first proved that ED is either completely inside X or outside X, if X is a minimum cut set. So if X is a minimum cut set of PCN and AU is a separation of PX bar. AU is a separation of PX bar means if you delete the minimal cut set X, that must be disconnected. The disconnected that with two components, one is not two component, maybe two separation or two parts, one is A, one is B. So there is no edge from the element of A to element of B. That's what we call separation of PX bar. Then every positive divisor D of N, ED is either in X or in A or in B. So this is probably the major idea to take forward to get the exact value of PCN. That you take ED, then ED must contain either in X or in A or in B. So to get the exact value for 1 less than equal to J, we need to first construct some cut set of PCN. For 1 less than equal to J less than equal to R, consider the integer alpha Jn and beta Jn defined by this. For alpha Jn equal to Pn plus N by P1, P2, Pr into this, and beta Jn equal to this one. So what are those two numbers? We'll elaborate exactly what are those two numbers. We'll denote if J equal to R, alpha Rn equal to alpha N, and we'll say beta Rn equal to beta N. For 1 less than equal to J less than equal to R, consider two subsets of Cn like this, where Yj equals to En union whole union of Sn by Pj Pt, where T from 1 to R and T not equals to J. For every J, we have a set like this, and we have a set like Zj, which is En union this En by Pj to the power S from 1 to Nj minus 1, where N1 Nj is the power of Pj in the prime factorization of N. Union this N by Pj to the power Nj Pt. So these two sets, we first proved that these two sets are nothing but cut sets of PCN. So one can also check that if Nj equals to 1, Yj equals to Zj. If the power of J equals to 1, then Yj equals to Zj. And if R equals to 2, it is Y1 equals to Y2. So first, what we did, we proved that these two sets are not any arbitrary sets. These are cut sets of PCN. So for 1 less than J less than R, Yj and Zj are cut sets of PCN, and cardinality of Yj is alpha Jn and cardinality of Zj is beta Jn. So basically this alpha Jn are nothing but the cardinality of this, and Zj, the cardinality of Zj equal to this one. It needs to use the idea of some results of Pn to get what exactly the cardinality of this. So the proof is actually not that difficult. So next, the idea is to, can we compare, these are all cut sets, but can we compare alpha J and beta J, etc. So we prove that if R greater than equal to 3, then alpha 1 greater than alpha 2 greater than alpha R. So that means if you are interested towards vertex connectivity, a minimum cut set, then alpha R is important, not the other alpha H. So that means alpha Rn we denote it by alpha N. If r equal to 2, equality alpha jn is less than equal to beta jn for n. So any j, that j equals to 1, alpha 1 is less than equal to beta 1, and alpha 2 is less than equal to beta. We also compare alpha I and beta, so alpha j and beta j. If r greater than equal to 3, then the following holds. If nj equals to 1, obviously if nj equals to 1, then alpha j equals to beta j. But if nj greater than equal to 2 and 2 phi of this greater than p1 to this, then alpha j less than beta j, and alpha j greater than beta j if nj greater than equal to and 2 pi less 2 pi of this less than this. So this 2 pi plays an important role in getting the vertex connectivity of PCN. Let me also say we have not completely solved the vertex connectivity problem of PCN, but we will discuss what exactly we have done. So first, what we prove that, because it depends on alpha r, that is important, and alpha, if 2 pi is greater than equal to this, 2 pi p1 to pr minus 1 is greater than p1 to pr, then alpha r is greater than beta rn. So based on this, we first prove this result, which is by Chattopadhyay, me and Sahu in 2019, and this is in discrete applied math, that if 2 pi p1 to pr minus 1 greater than p1 to pr minus 1, then kappa vertex connectivity is equals to alpha n. Look, for any n, this 2 pi is either greater than, equal to, or less than. If it is greater than, then it is equal to alpha n. If it is equals to, then r must be equal to 2, and in that case also kappa cn equal to alpha n. We also proved that if this happens, there is a unique minimum cut set for this, and if this happens, there is exactly n2 minimum cut set of this, and we have also discussed what are the minimum cut sets. And to prove this, the idea behind it, that you take ei equal to, you take d equal to n by pi. If you take d equal to n by pi and consider ed equals to, or ed equals to ei, then we first that e1 up to er minus 1 or er, all we studied those things, whether those sets are in the cut set or in a minimum cut set or not. So in this way, we first check that what are the possibility they are in the minimum cut set, then we uniquely obtain the minimum cut set for this case. And for this case, we obtain exactly n2 number of minimum cut set. But if 2 pi less than equal to this, we proved that it is less than equal to beta n. Beta n means this one. So Z r. So in this case, you can also observe that there is no en by pi here. Here only one en by pi exists. So based on this, we generalize those results, but we prove that beta n is a bound for this, and also obtain many value of n for which it is equal to. If you take n equal to p1, n is divisible by exactly 3 distinct prime, and n equal to p1 to the power n1, p to the power n2, and p to the power n3 form, and p1 equals to 2, then in this case this will happen, and we prove that in this case kappa pcn equals to beta n. But we also observe that there are certain value of n for which it is less than beta n, and also less than alpha n. So in this paper, whatever we have discussed, we only able to prove that if this condition happens greater than equal to, we know the exact value of this, but for other cases we have a bound only. So next we try to whether this is obviously not exact, because we have some example to say that there are some value of n for which vertex connectivity is less than equal to both alpha and beta n. So we generalize these results in that way. So we constructed some new minimum cut sets or new cut sets in that way. Assume r greater than equal to 3, because for r equal to 2 it is solved, because for r equal to 2, if this is either it is equal to or greater than, so in this case it is both equal to alpha n. Assume r greater than equal to 3 and fix AB belongs to R. Define the integer gamma ABN by this way, where gamma ABN equals to Pn plus n by this. So again, why this number? So for that, you can, that if A equals to R minus 1 and B equals to R, or you can take AB as a set to R minus 1 R, we denote it at gamma n. And also we can compare any gamma AB in this way. Gamma ABN is greater than gamma R minus 1 Rn, which is denoted gamma n, for AB belongs to R. Here R equals to 1 to R as a set. This means as a set 1 to R. So all gamma AB, basically because we are interested about minimum cut set, so the concentration should be on this gamma n. So exactly what that number is. So we constructed a new a family of cut sets in this way. Let R be the union of R minus 2 subgroups Sn by Pi, Pa, Pb, where I different from AB belongs to R. And consider a set XAB as R union En by Pa, En by Pa square up to Pa to the power Na, it's the maximum power, N by Pb up to this. What we did, we proved that this is a cut set and the cardinality equal to gamma ABN. So that means gamma n, this AB equals to R minus 1 R, is a cut set of this. So if this is a cut set, the kappa PCN less than equals to gamma n. So we also compare alpha and beta and gamma n. If NR is greater than equal to 2, then beta n is less than gamma n. So if NR is greater than 2, to get the vertex connectivity, gamma n has no role. And alpha n is less than equals to gamma n if and only if this happens. That means there is a comparison between alpha n and gamma n for any value of n. So gamma n may be less than equal to alpha n if this is greater than this one. If P1 up to Pr minus 2 is greater than this, then gamma n is greater than alpha n. So gamma n is less than alpha n. If gamma n is less than alpha n, that's where the vertex connectivity may happen. So what we did, we proved that if n equal to P1 to Pr, then vertex connectivity of PCN equal to either alpha n or gamma n, whatever is minimum. So the minimality defined by this criteria. And we proved that if n are greater than equal to 2, so gamma n has no role for vertex connectivity equal to minimum of alpha n and beta jn, where nj greater than equal to 2. Actually, to prove this, we consider again this EI. EI means En by Pi. So E1 to ER, we first prove that if you take a minimum cut set, that it contains at most 2 EI. Then if it contains no EI, then vertex connectivity must be equal to alpha n. If it contains exactly 1 EI, then vertex connectivity actually beta jn for some j, and if it contains exactly 2, then it will be gamma n kind. So there are in this, you can find in this paper, this is the original paper, there is some erratum associated with that. So if you are interested, you can go through it. There are some notations are there, but it's a lots of calculations are there. If you are interested, you can go through it, but the proofs are still interesting because how this alpha and beta and gamma comes into picture, we have explained. So still with this restriction only we will be able to find the vertex connectivity of PCN. So what next? So so we will not able to solve the for every value of n. So whatever we have done, so there are still cases left. For example, if you take r greater than equal to 4 and with nr equal to 1, and if 2 phi p1 to pr minus 1 is less than this, and there exists a j lies between 1 to r minus 1 such that nj greater than equal to, then what will be the exact value of this? There are bounds there where alpha and beta and gamma and there, but we don't know what the exact value of this. So one can think about it. It may need to, if you are interested to solve this, you may need to think about some more cut set and compare all these things. So this is what we have contributed towards the study of vertex connectivity of power graph of CN, where this paper, and you can see, sorry, the other one through discrete math, this paper, all these results are there. So why vertex connectivity? There are vertex connectivity, edge connectivity of PCN also there. So what about edge connectivity of PCN? So before going to that, let me define, let gamma be a simple graph with at least 2 vertices. We denote del of gamma as the minimal degree of gamma. The edge connectivity, kappa dash gamma of gamma is the minimum number of edges whose deletion from gamma gives a disconnected subgraph of gamma. It is well known that kappa of gamma less than for a simple connected graph, or kappa of gamma less than equal to kappa dash gamma less than equal to delta of gamma, and edge connectivity equal to minimal degree if the diameter is at most 2. So if you consider the power graph of any group, the diameter is at most 2. So the power graph of any group, edge connectivity is equal to minimal degree always for any finite group. This. So we'll now think about what will be the edge connectivity of power graph of Cn. So consider Cn, you can take as a integer modulo n, as a cyclic group of order n. So to get the degree of every vertex A belongs to Cn, for A belongs to Cn, then degree of A equals to this formula, which is proved by Cotin and Porgoli in this paper, that for every vertex A, the degree of A is this one. So to get the edge connectivity of PCN is same as to get the minimal degree of PCN. So we will concentrate mainly on minimal degree of PCN. So for A belongs to Cn, there is a formula for degree of a vertex. So that is proved by Cotin and Porgoli. It can easily say that if A equals to 0 or A is a generator, then degree of A equal to n minus 1. That basically A is a generator, means it adjacent to every other vertex. A equal to 0 means it's the identity element of this. So this also gives that if B is the greatest common divisor of A and n, then degree of A equals to degree of B. So basically, to get the minimal degree, we need to compare the degree of the vertices where the vertices B, or B divides n in this case. So to get the minimal degree, we need to compare the degree of all such divisor. So that also, it's not it's a trivial task. So to compare also, it's not that trivial. So people have studied minimal degree in some particular cases. So let P4 be primes in this order. To P1 to the power alpha 1, P to the power alpha 2, some positive integer alpha 1 to alpha 2. Then minimal degree of PCN is equals to degree of P2 to the power alpha 2. One can see that to get now the edge connectivity, same as get the minimal degree. And to get the minimal degree, we need to find a vertex whose degree is minimal. Because once you get a vertex which proves the degree is minimal, by this formula you can get the minimal degree and get the edge connectivity. So the idea now is to get the vertex of CN which is minimal degree. So Ponda and Krishna in 2018 or 18 proved these results related to minimal degree. If n equal to P1 to the power alpha 1, P to the power alpha 2 for some positive integer alpha 1, alpha 2, then minimal degree is equal to degree of P2 to the power alpha 2. If n equal to P1, P2, P3, then minimal degree equal to degree of P3. And if n equal to P1, P2, P3, P4, then degree of n, so minimal degree of PCN equal to either degree of P4 or degree of P3, P4. So like the earlier vertex connectivity case, there are also some up to 2 degree or 3 with a particular cases. This is studied. So what about for any arbitrary n, or where P1 to the power alpha 1 to PR to the power alpha r case? So in recently we have studied that not completely, like vertex connectivity, we obtained some result about minimal degree of power graph of PCN. So we proved that if n equal to P1 to PR, where r greater than equal to 3 and PIs are in this order, then minimal degree of PCN is equal to degree of PR minus 1 PR or degree of PR. You can see that it is P3 or here it is P3, here degree of P3, P4 or P4. So this actually true in general case where n is a product of distinct primes. And minimal degree of PCN equal to degree of PR if and only if this will happen. So in particular, with some result that if 5 PR is greater than equal to r minus 2, 5 PR minus 1, then minimal degree is this. So what about this is a n when it is a product of distinct prime case? What about a general case? So here also the idea is to compare different kind of vertices like Pi, Pj, then Pa with product of 3 primes, 4 primes, all comparison done, then to get this result. To get the general result, we have some restriction on this. Let n equal to P1 to the power alpha 1, P to the power alpha 2 up to PR to the power alpha r, where r greater than equal to 2 and alpha 1 to alpha are positive integer. And P1 to PR prime from this form. Here the restriction, if 2 phi P1 to PR greater than P1 to PR or this, and if T2 to R is the largest integer such that alpha T is greater than alpha J, then the minimal degree of PCN equal to degree of PS to the power alpha S. Minimum of degree of PS to the power alpha from T to R. This also improved with the restriction like vertex degree 2 phi of this or phi of this one. So using this, so result you can find a paper published in this year in Journal of Algebra Application with Ponda and Sahu, where we have studied the minimal degree of PCN. So I proved that if n equal to product of distinct prime, we know what the minimal degree is. If n in general form with this restriction, we can find the minimal degree, and also along with this, it will be easier if you use this restriction. If P1 greater than R plus 1 and this, then minimal degree equal to PR to the power alpha R. In this case also we have proved when R equal to 3, the minimal degree is either P to the power alpha 2 or P3 to the power alpha 3. The vertex of the degree associated with this. All these actually, to prove it, needs a comparison and some manipulation, but the main idea behind it to get that original result and compare things in a systematic way. Also, for minimal degree case, we have solved for all product of all distinct primes and product divisible by 2 or 3 primes, and also with this restriction. So if the restriction is not there, then what can you say about this? Is also not done. So like vertex connectivity, the minimal degree problem for PCN is not completely solved. So whoever is interested can move forward and try these problems. Also, we are currently working on minimal degree from some nilpotent groups, but this is under preparation, so I should not say much about this. So with this, I really think if you have any question, please ask me.
Yeah, forum is open for discussion. Any questions or comments?
I have a question. May I?
Yes,
So there is a formula for the clique number of the power graph of a cyclic group, and it's by Ali Reza and 2 others. I don't remember exactly, but it's a rather complicated formula involving Euler's function of various quotients. But when we looked at it again a month or so ago, we discovered that in fact you can deduce from that formula that the clique number of the power graph of Cn lies between phi of n and 3 times phi of n. And in fact, that you can improve the 3 a little bit to about 2.64. Now, is it true that for the vertex connectivity, which is always at least phi n plus 1
Yes.
for the cyclic group, could it be bounded by a constant times phi n, do you think? I couldn't really tell from the formula.
Yeah. What you are saying, maybe, but because the concentration is more to get exact value, so we have
Yes,
not
so
got it that way.
I'm not asking for an exact value, just whether there's an upper bound of a constant times phi n, and if so, what's the best constant?
It should be, because from that bound, if you
Yes, I mean, you have several upper bounds. And it should
from
be just a
gamma
case
n,
of-
it will be, maybe if you look at this gamma n part,
Yes,
I think
yes,
something can be obtained, but
yes,
because we have not thought in that way, we have concentrated on the concentration is on more on get the exact value. Maybe one can
Yes.
think in that way, what you are saying.
Well, yes, I mean, I just wonder whether it might be true that there's a result like that, because for the clique number, not only is that true, but we found this interesting constant, 2.64 something, that gives you the precise upper bound. And it would be interesting if something similar were true here, I think. But I couldn't see just from the formulae. One would have to do a bit of work, I think.
Yeah, one has to do a bit of work. Maybe something like this will come out. What you are saying is correct.
Yes, yes.
I guess what you are saying is correct. Something will be come out. Maybe if one can think in that way, it can be reduced so that may help in other sense to get the exact value for other value.
Yes, yes. Because a bound of a constant times phi of n is a nice simple bound.
Yes,
might be useful to other
I
people.
guess it is something.
Yes.
Maybe to.
Well, we can sort this out later.
Yeah. It's a constant. I am not getting it now. Maybe, but surely there should be some constant kind of thing.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Maybe I can try on this to get something.
Yes. Why not?
So anything else?
Anyone else? Any other questions or comments? Okay, I think there are no further questions. Okay. With that, we come to the end of today's session. On behalf of all the participants of RDGG, I thank Professor Kamal Rojan Patre for his wonderful presentation. The next session will be on August 4th by Michel Gudici. He'll be talking on commuting graphs. So see you all then. Thank you, one and all.